no, no, you can't do that anymore.
Well, and then it created people going to look for stuff and then not finding it. So then they went ahead and did it so that somebody else would find it.
Exactly. Dang, that's a lot. All right. Let's try to get started here. Make that go away. No, you went away. Oh, scaring me. Okay, push the button.
Well, it's saying I have two.
Welcome to
you
the
do.
Rebel Alliance Briefing Room podcast. We are here to podcast about anything and everything Star Wars with you. Please visit our website where you can play current and past episodes. That's https://RABR KyleJohansson.us. That's RABR.KyleJohansen.US. On the left-hand side is a navigation menu. You can use this to learn how to load the Rebel Alliance Briefing Room podcast on your Android or Apple phone and tablet. And we have direct links to our podcast on Apple and Google Podcasts. Please participate by connecting to our social media, answering questions of the week, or submitting feedback directly from the site. Again, all of these are available at the Rebel Alliance Briefing Room website at RABR.KyleJohansen.US. And now, it's time to talk Star Wars. I am Kyle John Johansson, and this is Andrew Scott Sutton. Say hello.
That doesn't look like Andrew. That's Rick today. Okay, so Rick's here today. Scott's, of course, killing himself to death by working too much, or something. And today we're reviewing Star Wars Bad Batch Season 2, Episode 10, called Retrieval. We don't really have any news. There's a bunch of rumors going around, of course, but nothing newsworthy. We're going to do a detailed recap of the episode, discuss it, talk about a question of the week, and then beg for your feedback. Maybe some thoughts and predictions at the end, too. So we're going to do that. I'm going to play this spoiler alert clip first.
Spoiler alert.
There you go. So anything we're going to talk about is going to spoil episode 10. Please go back and watch it first before you listen to the rest of this podcast. All right. So the cast voice people this week. So the Clone Force 99, all of those were D. Bradley Baker. Of course, Omega was Michelle Yang. We had Benni Baro, I think is what they called him. And minor number 1 was Yuri Lowenthal, Drake, which was the top money earner. And minor number 2 was done by Alexis Lee. And of course, our favorite Mokko was done by John Lipow, which he does quite a bit of voicing. So with that, we get to listen to our brand new commercial.
Hey, you over there. Are you a trooper? Is your armor always dirty? When do you find time to clean it? Did Rebel Scum scratch and damage it? Does your helmet communications keep acting up? Stop by Aaron's Armor Sparkalorium. Before 1500 hours, we will wash, clean, and sanitize your armor for the next day pickup. Our patented galactically ancient secret cleaning techniques will have your armor sparkling just like a new Cerealian Y-1300 freighter just off the assembly line. You will be the envy of all your friends and coworkers, from the castles on Lowenthal to the politicians on Coruscant to the environmentalists on Endor. For your next day service, stop by Aaron's Armor Sparkalorium. We are located in Tatooine's Mos Eisley Spaceport, directly across from Hangar 35. We will also repair and sell most parts at the best rates in the known galaxy. All services guaranteed and licensed by the Emperor himself to last a lifetime only at Iran's Armor Sparkalorium. We accept Imperial credits only. Helmets and boots or services are extra.
All right, that's it. Wow. Yeah, there's a lot of back.
With your Wookiee there, that's a great one.
Yeah. That's pretty good. It's okay. Yeah, the noise is driving me nuts, but I'll figure it out. All right. So again, Bad Batch season 2, episode 10, Retrieval. It originally aired on February 22nd, and was 29 minutes long. So that means it's time to grab your favorite beverage, pull up a chair, and join us in the Rebel Alliance briefing room as we go through this episode. All right, so they're at the abandoned spaceport still from last episode. The Bad Batch is working on a rusty speeder bike while Omega studies her scanner. Apparently, Omega doesn't know how to repair anything. Wrecker's complaining that he's bored, hot, and starving. He says that they're wasting time and that the skiff is a heap of junk. But Tech says that if few repairs, it will be a slightly operational heap of junk, and it will get them on the other hemisphere of the planet with enough energy. Omega suddenly realizes, aha, energy. Gonky. Oh, Gonky has a transponder of his own or something they can track. Omega says she didn't mean the Marauder's transponder. She meant Gonky's. Tech says, oh, that's a good idea. I can't believe I didn't think of it. And she immediately sets up things to trace Gonky's binary reference as she plugs into like the satellite or something that's there that they use for communications or something. And Wrecker tells her not to get up her hopes. The Marauder approaches a settlement on a plateau, and you can see inside of the Marauder that the thief's speeder bike is in the background, and Gonky is approaching, making his normal gonk noises, driving the pilot crazy. He tells Gonk to shut it because he's starting to get annoyed. He removes his helmet to reveal that he is a human boy, and named Benni Baro. Baro speaks via comlink to his master Mokko, who chastises him for being late. He of course apologizes, but tells Mokko he has found something he would like. Mokko lowers the deflector shield upon his request, and the Marauder is taken by a conveyor belt into a cavernous hangar. Inside, Baro chomps on some biscuits while Gonky beeps in binary. Mokko has several used androids greet Baro at the hangar. Mokko is impressed with Baro's find and says that he got the ship from amateur miners in the Northern Territory. Inspecting the ship, Mokko says that the miners don't travel in a modified starship. Mokko thinks that Baro's find will cause trouble and accuse the boy of being ungrateful. Baro explains that he's just trying to help, trying to make money, get more food. Mokko relents, but says that he will have to dismantle the entire ship and sell it piece by piece to avoid drawing attention. Baro asks if this will help him be the top earner of the week. Mokko is evasive, but allows Baro to keep Gonky. When Baro asks about water rations and reminds him that he was scouting for water, Mokko mockingly sips a bottle of water and drinks, he drinks almost 3/4 of the bottle of water, it looks like.
Most of it.
Yeah, and then he gives a little tiny couple sips for Baro to drink. And Mokko says Mokko always takes care of his crew. Mokko orders the other youth androids to strip the Marauder, and Gonky beeps with concern. Almost sounds like an uh-oh. At least it did to me.
I thought he was saying something else we can't say. Oh.
Yeah. Oh, shit. Oh, yeah.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit.
OSHA. Yeah, we got to call OSHA. This is bad working conditions.
I wasn't talking about OSHA.
Back at the abandoned spaceport, Omega is able to track Gonky to 100 kilometers east. She reasons that if Gonky is still on the planet, the Marauder must also be. They could have dumped him out, though, and took off, but whatever. Following Gonky's signal, the Bad Batch and Omega travel on the salvaged speeder bike towards the thief's den. I don't know if you noticed when they were on the bike, there's like one of them was laying across the front of it, bouncing up and down like they're about ready to fall off. It was kind of funny. There's 4 of them on there with supplies and everything.
Yeah, the conversation that we had last week about leaving the speeder. Now we know that he didn't leave the speeder; he loaded it up. So they really were screwed. They were stuck at the spaceport on their own 2 feet.
Exactly. Except for the random parts and broken down stuff that they found, which was really nothing.
Well, yeah, they just happened to be there.
Of course. Got to have something there for our crew to survive. Text says the scanner shows several life forms in a subterranean level. Wrecker remarks that this place looks worse than the abandoned spaceport. And Hunter orders the team to split up. Half going one way and half going another way, I think. Meanwhile, Baro tells Gonky that he will have to sell it for spare parts since he's defective. He's surprised by Hunter and Tech, who says, "Hey, that's our droid." The former tells Baro that Gonky belongs to the Bad Batch, demands to know where their ship is. Where is it? Baro attempts to flee on a speeder bike, but is ambushed and knocked to the ground by Wrecker. We just clotheslines him, I think, right?
The old hook.
Clothesline.
You always get the old hook. Yeah, the clothesline.
Exactly. Baro is restrained by Omega, who points her energy bow at him. When Baro asks why they would care about a beat-up old battery, Omega disagrees. He's family, isn't he? Hunter says, "Where's their ship?" Baro tells the clones that the ship is with Mokko, who owns the town. Baro is reluctant to betray Mokko since he took care of him and agrees to lead the clones back to their ship. During the journey, Baro explains that Mokko took over the Ipsian mine from the Techno Union. Omega deduces that Baro is an Ipsian miner and a ship thief. I wonder why.
Yeah, I don't actually came to that conclusion.
When Baro says that stealing is a skill, Omega disagrees. And Baro replies that it is when you're good at it. Oh, he thinks he's good too. Okay. But he got caught, so it can't be that good.
He's 1 for 1, so I mean he's bad at that.
Yeah.
He stole it. He just couldn't keep it hidden.
Exactly. Tech generates a schematic of the mine on his hologram, which shows the subterranean entrance appears to be guarded in shifts, and that the mine is protected by a ray shield. Wrecker is not daunted by Baro's warning that blasting their way into the Ipsian mine is dangerous. Tech proposes infiltrating the mine through the factory stack, the giant smokestack or whatever. Looks like it shoots out dangerous exhaust every 60 seconds or something, is what they said.
Yeah.
It has lower hatch access inside. If timed correctly, Tech thinks they will be able to rappel down between exhaust cycles. When Hunter asks about the time window, Tech says it's about 60 seconds. Baro wants to back out since he doesn't want to be burnt alive, but Hunter reminds him that they can go when they recover that he can go when they recover their ship. Working with Tech, Hunter uses the grappling hook to descend into the factory stack. He soon spots a sentry droid, which complicates their mission. Dun, dun, dun. After Burl drops a cylinder rod, says a cylinder rod, but I think it's a flashlight. I don't know why they think it's a cylinder.
Yeah.
Hunter fights the sentry droid. He manages to run towards an access door before smoke is released at the 60-second interval. However, the droid is not lucky and is seemingly incinerated. Baro observes that the Bad Batch are not miners. Wonder what makes him think that. Prompting Omega to tell him that he stole from the wrong people. The rest of the team and Baro descend down the factory stack and enter the access hatch.
They have special skills.
Yeah, they have special skills.
Special skills.
They're all just a little special. They see several workers pushing crates of Ipsium under the watch of armed droid sentries. When Tech notices the harsh working conditions, Baro explains that the degraded state of Ipsium has forced Mokko to lower wages and keep the mine running. Baro tells the Bad Batch that their ship is in the upper garbage bay across from Central Tower. He offers to show them a shortcut. Hunter warns him not to trick them, prompting Baro to respond that he's not trying to get caught either. Baro leads them to the Marauder. He attempts to leave, but Tech notices that the hyperdrive is missing. Baro says that restoring the hyperdrive will not be difficult. When Omega asks about the ray shield, Baro says it can only be deactivated from the Central Tower. Hunter wants to go, but Baro argues the adult clones will stick out too much. If they don't trust him to go alone, Baro suggests that Omega can come along since she can blend in with the miners. Tech tells Omega to transfer the data into a mini computer, which he can access. Baro gives Omega advice on blending in. I think she changes jackets or something like that too. Meanwhile, Mokko gorges on food and drink inside his personal quarters. He's just like chowing down like crazy in there, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, slurping the I don't know, look like wine or liquor of some kind.
Something in a bottle.
Definitely gorging himself.
I mean,
a little mini job.
I know. Yeah, I know. I eat fast sometimes. This guy was eating fast. It's like they sped up the footage or something, but it was just crazy.
Futuristic Jimmy John's, freaky fast.
There you go. Outside, Baro explains that they cannot just walk in because Mokko's inner circle has access to the cards that give him access to the Central Tower. Omega learns that Baro is aspiring to join Mokko's inner circle. He warns her to act natural or they will be sent to the mines as punishment. The two descend into the mess hall via a ladder. One of Baro's colleagues is playing a game, and the two chat about something about competing in the Mokko's inner circle. Mokko soon arrives to speak with the miners to announce the tally for the week. After giving a brief speech about the bleak season and everyone doing their part, Mokko announces Drake, of course, is the winner. He's probably paying him extra money to be named winner too. Be my guess. Drake is awarded he's awarded extra rations, which he gulps down quickly. Mokko tells the other adolescent miners that the rations are low and they will have to work harder to survive. He promises them not to let the crew and staff leave, and leaves them to fight over a bowl of soup, which was maybe half full. Baro feels betrayed, while Omega is disgusted. Wonder why. Meanwhile, Tech informs the other clones that they are not going anywhere until they have reconnected the hyperdrive. While walking on a suspension bridge, Baro grumbles that stealing the ship did not make him the top earner. He doesn't understand it. Why not? It's a big ship. Probably because they haven't sold the parts yet, so he can't claim it.
Yeah.
Omega says they shouldn't
get it on credit, but Mokko doesn't believe in credit like that.
You pay interest. That's all.
Yeah. It was on the back end. That's when he was going to win it.
Exactly. Omega says they shouldn't have to compete for food. Baro says they have to earn their share to survive here, but hopes to impress Mokko. He leads Omega up a ladder into the control room. Once there, Omega informs Hunter, who tells her to get the shield code and get back to the hangar. I thought it was interesting that he had to use the key to unlock it, and then he had to lock it again once he got inside. The door didn't close itself; he had to close it with the key again, which
it's old. It hadn't been updated yet.
There you go.
There was a software update, and since the mine's not producing, they couldn't afford to pay for it.
Yeah, exactly. They had to get more food from Mokko. That's all.
There you go. Yeah, let's pay for food or pay for the software update. Food won out, I guess.
Yeah. Well, Omega copies the data. Baro discreetly presses a button which glows green. Uh-oh. He notices that the Bad Batch treat her like one of their kind, which he compares favorably to Mokko's treatment of his crew. When Omega observes that Mokko doesn't seem to care about any of them, Baro disagrees. He says that Mokko has promised that they will find better Ipsium with more time and digging. Baro explains that he can't leave because it is his home, and that's all he knows. Which, Omega kind of can, get used to. She says, I understand that. The Marauder is our home. Exactly. It's the only home we've really have. Baro apologizes for stealing a ship. Omega offers him rations to thank Baro for helping. Baro reflects on Omega's kindness. Meanwhile, Tech has finished installing the motivator. Before I get to that, I wanted to say, I saw on Twitter, let me see if I can pull it up. Probably not. Yeah, I don't think I can. But I saw on Twitter, it's the bar had writing on it. And it said standard ration D300 is what they translated it to. It was in that Star Wars language, that Abrish language that they use all the time.
Yeah.
But it said standard ration D300, whatever that is. And many of the people, like a Cliff Bar. Many of the people said that that's the first time they've seen rations that were wrapped in a wrapper like that. I think we saw like Luke Skywalker when he was on Dagobah with first landed and he was, unwrapping his food and stuff. There's a wrapper there, but it was more of a silver kind of wrapper thing over the outside of it. And
they don't hardly eat. Like if you think all of the films, like there's really not much of a meal or eating.
It's true. Well, I mean, we did see I think it was Anakin's family sit down for dinner at one point when Obi-Wan and not Obi-Wan, Obi-Wan was there and Qui-Gon was there.
Yeah.
But we didn't really see him eat. We saw him sit down, but we didn't see him eat I don't think. Maybe one person put something up to their mouth. I can't remember. I'll have to watch it again and see. But anyway, yeah, you're right. We don't see him. I think the time that Luke Skywalker had something to eat there on Dagobah was one of the only times that we saw some of them actually consume something. Because he ate food in Yoda's hut too.
Yeah,
from that bowl. How nasty it was. He gave those looks, but
and Grogu eating his little tadpole things or whatever.
Yeah, frogs and stuff too.
Exactly.
They
really haven't had much scenes, I guess, with food or anything. So that is kind of an interesting thing. Standard ration, huh?
Yeah, I think I don't know. I think they portray it in a way that food almost is, they don't really take pleasure from food anymore, like kind of we do, I guess. We go out to eat steak because it's pleasurable, right?
I'm trying to remember. I just now thought, like, when Ray goes and she salvages all of the parts and then she comes back and trades them in.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know what you would call it, concentrated stuff, and she adds the water, and then it's just nutritional stuff. It's not really something you enjoy.
Yeah, except for the one thing is like a muffin or a biscuit or something.
Yeah.
And then the other one, like you said, is just a square piece of whatever, spam, or I don't know what it is. It looked kind of funny. One of the pieces was black and one of them was white, and then there was the powder stuff that she put in the bowl.
Yep.
Too. Yep. Yeah, you're right. I remember that now. All right, so Tech is finishing installing the motivator, but says he still needs to connect the primaries to the guidance system and adjust the navigation computer. Wrecker reports that the weapon systems are online. Of course they are. Wrecker wants that first. Hunter decides that he will not reactivate the ship's system due to the concern of the plight of Mokko's child laborers. Tech remarks that Mokko appears to be using his power and means to leverage over the workers, which he likens to the Empire. Is there a parallel? Probably. Hunter senses movement and sees Drake approaching. Drake notices the hyperdrive has been restored and asks if Bryce or Hugh removed the hyperdrive. He is startled by the Bad Batch. Wrecker responds that Mokko sent them, while Hunter tells them that they are here to claim their ship back. Meanwhile, Omega is having difficulty finding the shield codes on Mokko's computer, but finds his prophet reports instead. She informs Baro that Mokko has been lying. What? About the Ipsium being degraded.
How terrible.
Exactly. Just then, Mokko enters the control room with his 2 sentries. He thanks Baro for catching another thief before revealing that his left arm is a cybernetic claw. Arr. He does that little thing. Arr, arr, arr. Baro informs Mokko that others are in the garage bay. Baro apologizes to Omega and says that he didn't have a choice. Mokko describes Baro as a prospective top earner before the sentries take Omega away. Meanwhile, Tech informs Hunter by a comlink the hyperdrive is nearly online. Hunter informs Tech that their spies have escaped and have summoned reinforcements. Uh-oh. That means Drake escaped, huh? Somehow. Mokko confronts Tech and Wrecker on the suspension bridge. When Tech and Wrecker tell them they have come for the starship, Mokko responds that ship belongs to me. Oh, I mean him. He warns that if the clones fire, it will ignite the Ipsium. When the clones say they don't miss, I think actually Wrecker said that. We don't miss. Mokko threatens to order one of his droids to throw Omega down the molten chasm. Back in the control room, Baro reads the scanner on Omega's mini computer. Omega orders his miners and droids to take Tech and Wrecker into the mines, where he intends to imprison them as indentured workers for 10 years. 10 years.
If they can survive.
Yeah, if they can survive. He did say that. If you can survive it. Mokko is interrupted by Baro, who reveals that Mokko lied about the degrading Ipsium in order to keep a larger share of the profits for himself. Mokko claims that Baro is lying, but Baro shows the mini computer to Drake. Drake confronts Mokko for lying to them and exploiting their labor. Mokko claims that he was taking his share and that the miners wouldn't survive without him. Foreshadowing. Mokko orders the sentry droids to throw Omega into the molten chasm. However, Omega instead drags the droid down with her. Hunter uses the grappling hook to swing her to safety. As the miners converge on Mokko, he insists on keeping his profit and orders the sentry droids to subdue the miners with electro staffs. Bzz. Yeah, he's going to shock them and kill them. Cattle prods, basically, right? However, Tech and Wrecker quickly disable the droids with their blasters. Mokko attempts to defend himself with his cane, but loses his balance. Baro extends his hand, but Mokko attempts to drag him down instead. Drake pulls Baro to safety, and Mokko loses his grip and falls into the molten chasm with his sentry droids. The droids look. The droids look at their cloned liberators. Huh? I don't remember that part. And later, Wrecker hugs Gonky, telling the GNK series droid, power droid, that it's good to have him back. Baro returns the Bad Batch's personal belongings under Hunter's watch. When Omega asks what he and the other miners will do next, Baro replies they will continue mining Ipsium because that is all they know. Omega responds that he can have whatever he can be, whatever he wants to be in this big galaxy. Baro says that miners plan to share profits. Drake tells Baro it's chow time. Before parting company, Baro tells Omega that if she needs a thief, he can help her because he owes her one, right? Wonder if that means we're going to see him again. After Baro leaves, sounds like it to me. I don't know. I think like we've been discussing, there's something big going to happen at the end of the season. I think we're going to pool all these people we've met together in some big thing. I don't know.
Well, he'll be easy to identify. He's got the two stripes tattooed wherever on his neck.
Exactly. After Baro leaves, Omega tells Tech that there are other threats besides the Empire, like Mokko. Tech reassures her that there are many good people out there like themselves as well. And then we see the credits. Yeah. Big movie thing. So, we didn't really come up with a question of the week this week at all so far.
Well, I don't know. We kind of discussed something, but we never really did say anything. But my thing is that last music, I still haven't put the connection with what that music's from, but I know I've heard it before. So I think it's a little foreshadowing or a little, subtle Easter egg for something. I just can't place the in theme music.
You don't think it's the same that it's always is?
No, not that.
I think it's a little different.
It is the very well. It's different from that, but it's like it's connected to something. I don't know what. And then when it happens down the road, I'm gonna be like, oh, I should have known that, But I think what it is. So that could be the question that I have. Like maybe somebody could answer that on the feedback aspect. I don't know. Because somebody out there smarter than I am, because they'll recognize that music. I really wanted to. It's something tied with Luke, like it's Luke's like theme or something, but I can't place that's correct 100%. So,
well, I can probably resolve that for you. Because this takes place 19 years before the Battle of Yavin, which is the Death Star blowing up.
Yeah.
So Luke Skywalker was still a moisture evaporator farmer. And Anakin was Darth Vader, of course. Yes. So it could be Anakin, but I don't know.
It's not Darth's. Not Darth's theme. We all know Darth's music. Exactly. This music at the very end, that last little bit, I've heard it before. I'm just saying it. I'm throwing it out there. I've heard it before, and I just cannot make the connection. So I don't know. We'll see. To be continued Wednesday.
Maybe.
I'm throwing it out there. It's
I
tingling.
I
I can't figure out what.
pulled it up on my TV in here, and I'm watching the last part to see if I can hear the music. With Mokko gone, we're going to share the profits now.
Well, this is at the very, very end, like as the credits are rolling.
Yeah, I know. I didn't get quite there far enough. Here we go. Oh, there is some music back there.
Yeah.
And I missed that Wrecker is looking at the doll too.
Yes, he is. He's looking at Omega's doll. Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. Now that you just said that, because he's like holding it, looking at it kind of lovingly, and then it like cuts off. And then the
ship takes off. It almost is.
Yeah.
It almost is like a geez. It's almost like the music you hear in New Hope almost.
Maybe that's where it is. I don't know. But I know I've heard it before. I just can't place where it's at. So I'm saying, I'm going out here. There's a connection somehow with the end of this episode with something coming.
Could be.
It's an Easter egg that I don't
Could
know.
Be.
But somebody out there knows it, and not me.
Could be. I mean, we know, like I told you, the next episode's called Metamorphosis, which implies a lot.
Yes,
a lot that we don't know for sure, but it makes you think a lot. That's for sure.
So maybe it's connected to some Jedi, something or other that that we have yet to meet, but we've met later in other Star Wars things. I don't know.
Could be.
Maybe it's Yoda. Maybe.
That was my first thought too when you just said that. Yoda.
Maybe.
But
maybe it's Goku.
I don't know. We'll see. There's speculation that Grogu is a clone. That the Empire made, not the Camoans made. It's one that the Empire made. Once they kidnapped the head cloner, which happened at the end of episode 3. Anyway,
yeah.
So there's that. So let's talk here a little bit about what's going on. We got seeing if there's anything new or interesting in our stats. We got stats. Still have an average of 3 to 4 people listening on that Giles Savan Indian website. We have 3 followers, but it doesn't look like anything new has been listened to on Spotify. And Apple Music, still nothing, of course. On YouTube, I don't know if we cancel out ourselves. We've probably got maybe 1 or 2 people have watched the video the last couple episodes. The one episode, there was a 2-episode thing last week, and then we have this one episode. No, that was before that, the week before. The first one, episode 7, we had 6 people watch that episode, which is not very interesting, but whatever. So that's kind of that. We have some. Let's solicit some feedback here. So we have an email address, feedback@kylesranson.us. And then we have the ability to go on the website. You click on the link that says feedback, which is very obvious. And there's a form that comes up, and you can put in there what you want to say and send it to us. We don't care what you put in there. We can say, hey, Rick, take those mountains off your background. We don't like them. It doesn't matter. He's probably not going to do it, but at least you sent us some feedback. If you go to the question of the week, we have the comments section there. It's the best they got. I don't know.
It's the best place in the galaxy, man. Can't help it.
Yeah, that's right. Question of the week has comments. We are on Twitter at super_duper_pod. And we put this all on video up on YouTube. And there's of course comment section there. YouTube is starting to incorporate what they call podcasts into there, which technically we're doing already, but they're putting, let's say, a category on your stream on your page, so you can sort everything and say it's a podcast, or if it's just whatever video unboxing or whatever you've got going on. But they've created a brand new category. It just showed up last week, I think. I haven't done anything with it because I thought originally when it came out that meant we would be able to put audio up there too. But it talks about video when you go to upload something. I don't see why you couldn't put audio in there, but all it talks about is existing content and upload new videos. That's what it says. Which that's fine, whatever. I might do that later, but I don't see any difference in what we already have now. They're probably building it out a little bit still, so it's just kind of popped up for visual effects, I guess. So
beta form.
Yeah. So we've discussed a little bit about our thoughts about the episode, but you got any predictions or anything that you think came from this episode, or any major thoughts?
I think this was another one of those kind of, I don't know if it was a filler episode, but it was kind of another humanizing kind of thing of like showing how folks are feeling the oppression. And a mini version of the Emperor with Mokko.
Basically, Mokko, yeah, something special. It's a Star Wars version of it's not nice to bully.
Yeah,
basically, right?
When you're a dictator, it's not good.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I kind of got that too. I have a strong feeling, mostly because I know kind of how this stuff works a little bit on how they think, I guess, that every one of these one-offs like this, we had the one where we met the young Jedi Wookiee, and then we had this one, and then we had a couple other ones that were one-offs like that. There was one at the beginning. No, that was a two-parter, wasn't it? At the beginning, never mind.
Yep.
But we had a couple throughout there. I have a feeling they're all going to come together at the end. Kind of like what you were saying is we're building to something, and we still quite don't know what that is yet, but it's all going to come out to something in the end.
It all gets.
I have a weird feeling that there's going to be a big bad battle at the end of the season.
Probably, I would agree with that. Well, and we already know the title of the next episode, like you said, Metamorphosis. So it's going to be interesting. I mean, we have kind of discussed what we think it potentially could be, but who knows?
Yeah.
And we and we know that Echo has kind of left to go out into the galaxy to find places where people were oppressed and help them out too. So do they, is there a reunification of the crew that way? And some of these folks that we're meeting, are they invited to the party to sit at the table? So
Yep. I don't know. I mean, I'll tell you, the giving us the titles of the episode is kind of spoilerly, but they gave it to us from the beginning. So before the first episode out, they released every single episode title. So I don't know if I consider that spoilerly. I think they kind of did it to because they realized that maybe throughout the season people are going to get bored and they need a reason to continue to watch, and they kind of, let's give them the titles, and they were like, okay,
I think I know what's going to happen next, and then poof, totally different, and then we're
like you said, the next one is Metamorphosis. Episode after that's The Outpost, which I don't know. That could be where Echo's at. I don't know. And then there's the one after that is Pabu, which I think is a person's name. Could be a place, I guess. The one after that's called Tipping Point, and then the Summit, and then of course the last one's called Plan 99. And you have to remember the last two, the Summit and Plan 99, are on the same day, released the same week. I mean, two episodes at the same day thing. So sure sounds like something's going to happen. I don't know.
You got the Tipping Point and you got the Summit.
Right.
So I don't know. That's interesting. Plan 99. I mean, we're batch. We're 99. So Plan 99 has something to do with them. So
yep, they call themselves Clone Force 99.
Yeah, so maybe there's some secret programming in the cloning thing that there's a plan for them or something. I don't know.
Could be.
That's why we
could be they were designed to solve all the other issues that the clones had in the past.
That could be.
Kind of why they keep surviving, I guess. They're superhuman clones.
They have a unique set of
abilities, right? Exactly.
A unique set of skills for the galaxy that awaits.
Exactly. All right. So again, everybody send us feedback on all this stuff we've talked about. Like I said, we don't care if it's negative or not. We just reserve the right to defend ourselves, whatever you say. If you don't have anything else, Rick, I'm going to do the outro. So.
Yep. Nope. I was just going to say our aim's better than the average clone trooper.
Exactly. We've got stuff to back up our arguments, maybe.
Yeah. Sort of. If not, we'll just make it up.
That's interesting. All right, I'm going to push the outro.
Thank you for listening to the Rebel Alliance Briefing Room podcast.
Please visit our website where you can play current and past episodes. That's https://RABR KyleJohansson.us. That's RABR.KyleJohansen.us. On the left-hand side is a navigation menu. You can use this to learn how to load the Rebel Alliance Briefing Room podcast on your Android or Apple phone and tablet. And we have direct links to our podcast on Apple and Google Podcasts. Please participate by connecting to our social media, answering questions of the week, or submitting feedback directly from the site. Again, all of these are available at the Rebel Alliance Briefing Room website at RABR.KyleJohansen.us. This podcast in no way is approved, sponsored, or owned by Lucasfilms Ltd., Disney, Disney Plus, or any of its subsidiaries. All opinions are solely owned by Kyle and or Scott, and in no way express the views or opinions of their past or present employers. views and opinions are not supported or restricted by Lucasfilms, LTD, Disney, Disney Plus, or any of its subsidiaries. Any rebroadcast, reproduction, or other use of this podcast and its affiliate sites without consent of Super Duper Podcast Network and its host is prohibited. I am Kyle Johnathan, and this is Andrew Scott Sutton. Say goodbye now. Goodbye. It's Rick instead of Andrew. He's being lazy somewhere. Goodbye. So let's turn off the recording.